tonight's adventure. more beauty tips coming your way. Right, this is what we're going to be working on tonight. Peas, beans, Jerusalem artichokes, volunteer potatoes, you know, tons of weeds. We've got it all going on, so I would like to get on top of this bed at least tonight, hopefully more, because by my maths I've got Wednesday night, Thursday night and Friday night, tonight being Wednesday, to get all of these beds done. And at one bed a night, it's not going to work out even by my maths. So look at this. The borage, I mean the bees, you can't really see there on the camera, but there's at least 3-4 bees there. Absolutely loving life, but unfortunately that can't stay. We're going to have to figure that out somehow. There's plenty more borage around here for them. There's some volunteer potatoes. I've just tripped over the flipping strawberry netting. Anyway, let's do this. Weeds, volunteer potatoes. These are the Greek Giganti beans. Now I did see some on here. Let's go in together. Sorry for the dodgy camera work. You can never see them when you're looking for them, but then they just pop out. Anyway, there's definitely some in there. The sardines down there. Can't remember, different types of stringless French beans, I think. Oh, there, look. Oh no, they're runner beans down there. But again, this is the problem. You should be able to walk down here. You can't even see down here. So these are alderman peas, so shelling peas on here. Tall will get all the way to the top. They just need to be reminded where to go. Some of these, I tried some yesterday, absolutely delicious, the kind that don't make it to the kitchen. Oh look, now okay, there's beans under here as well, but it looks as though we might have a companion in the compost heap there that scratched it all out. So I'm going to ask Stephen to come in and help me with the compost, because basically it needs turning. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's like cardboard box that somebody's just tossed in. There's stuff that needs ripping up, and also there's a ton of volunteer potatoes, which is fine by me. If there's any that are suitable, we will have them, but I'm going to ask him if he can come in when I've cleared a space down here, because they're all weeds, and get on top of it basically. So a little bit nervous something's going to run over my foot. Oh, and there's more potatoes. Actually, can you see there? They're potatoes. So there's a lot to be getting on with. Some of those beans have died off, those leaves. I wonder what's happened there. Anyway, we will be able to tell once we get through them. In between these two poles here, I did start putting cardboard down, and then I ran out just to try and suppress the weeds in between. And this here is where I had the rhubarb leaves, which has done a grand job of suppressing the leaves. I'm also going to trim back the Jerusalem artichokes because they are complete thugs taking over here. Nobody needs that many in their life. They are a good substitute if you run out of potatoes in late winter. These, you know, these will stay in the ground until January, February, before they start growing again essentially. But yeah, this is what we're working with tonight, and I'd like to get the pathway cleared here right up to this bed and here, and then these hedges eventually need completely trimming back, like right down and right in as well, because we were looking at photos, old photos, and these are probably double the height of what they were originally. Stephen has bought a new trimmer, like what they called it, brush cutter trimmer, that can do overhead as well. We're going to take this yew hedge back. Got to be careful with disposing of that because it's very toxic to animals. So essentially, you know, all of this maintenance on the hedges, the different types of hedges, we'll get to, but not immediately. Tonight it's about getting this back into a good growing place. If we could live off this stuff, we'd be never go hungry. There's tons of it around. I've had to go and get my kneeling mat. It's absolutely killing my knees later. It's knelt on this. Right, so these here are potatoes that I don't want to be here, so I'm not sure if there'll be anything. So I'm going to take them up anyway, have a little root around, see what we're dealing with. Because they're volunteer from last year. Actually, the ground's really hard. I might need some assistance on this one. Otherwise, these beans, I'm never going to be able to get to them because of all these potatoes at the front. Right, I've taken those potatoes out of there, and what I've started doing, as you can see, I've chopped down a load of the Jerusalem artichoke stems. I'm trying to make it so that we can get in along here and start harvesting some of these beans, because there are some green beans. These are just stringless green beans that we've actually had tonight for our meal. So that was really good that I found something to eat amongst this jungle. And I'm just trying to keep these so that the the artichokes are leaning that way, and then the green beans can go that way, and I'll just try and keep a pathway clear down the middle there. What I'm actually doing, I'm using some of these stalks. Let me show you. I've taken some borage out so that I can work. Using some of these stalks as a weed suppressant. Am I going to regret that? We shall see. But for now, it's helping. But these green beans I'm really pleased with. They were really nice, even when they got to kind of to this length here. They were really nice for our meal tonight. With did some chicken, tomatoes and onions and things on like a flatbread. Anyway, so where are we up to now? I want to get in here and try and tidy some of these up, but I'm going to get the next lot of weeds out. Stephen has come over to help me because he's over there, so I know he's in the shed at the moment. He's weeding pathways because we've both just been working on the front lawn. So we're both going to give a couple of hours in here now and see where we get to. My word, done. Let me show you what we've achieved here and also show you what Stephen's been doing. That's officially the last bucket of weeds, but I kid you not, there's been barrowfuls. So there's nothing needed doing down here, but I've tidied up, as you saw, all along here, and we're eating those beans. There's more for tomorrow, which I'm really pleased about. Coming along here, you can now get along the path. Found a tea towel, as you do, and then in here, so what I've done, I have laid these Jerusalem artichoke stems here, or not all the way along, because there was other things laid on the other side, so I think that'll be okay for this. I've also weeded in between these beans on both sides, climbing, I think they're the Tsar, and I think these might be the Greek, I can't remember, to be quite honest with you. I'm okay, because we'll see when they grow. Runner beans as well. There's broad beans down the end there, again weeded. I know you'll probably look and think, well, there's still weeds there. It's not, trust me, this is like 1% of what was there. So now with my hands, and I can probably go through with a hoe, but at the moment I'm absolutely fine with how this is. I've got all of these peas trained up nicely now. We're going to lose some of them because I did snap them as we were going along, but as you can see, they are coming along nicely, really big. Pleased with those. We'll just probably eat those fresh, to be honest, while we're in the garden. And then along here you can finally get in to the muck heaps again. So these were the Greek beans. Now I'm not too sure what's happened to these, because some of them are dying here and they're still in the ground, so I'm not too sure. Maybe there was some heat off the compost on them, because they've definitely had enough water with all the rain that we've had, so I'm not sure about that. Anyway, the compost bin has been completely filled up again. These are all of the weeds between Stephen and I. But that's really good. I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. There's some of the runner beans. You can see they're coming on nicely as well. So we'll start using those in the coming days. Right, Stephen's gone in. He's feeling it today. Right, so what he's been doing is this pathway. I'm not sure if you saw when I walked in. I'll have to check the footage. But when you walked in along the pathway from the greenhouse down here, it was absolutely, where are we? It was absolutely knee deep in all kinds of grasses and weeds. He literally has taken out 2 barrows out of here, so I'm really thrilled that we've managed to get this done. So we've got the entrance bit is completely weed free, and in front of the bed, it doesn't look it here because we haven't got to that bed yet, but the pathway in front of the bed that I've been working on is also weed free. So thank you so much, by the way, everybody. I know it's if you say it as it is, oh, you know, supporting me doing some weeding, it sounds a bit crackers, but I really do appreciate you joining me for this mad week of trying to get on top of things. If I could get it done by Friday night, by the time I go to bed on Friday, I think I've already said this as well, sorry, I'd be really pleased, because I'd like to then have a weekend of just doing the normal stuff. Whether or not we're going to be here in a week, wanting it for next Friday, I've actually got 2 weeks holiday for the 2 weeks after that, so that wouldn't be such a bad thing. We could start the holidays with a nice weed-free vegetable plot. How good would that be? So yes, thank you for doing this with me. I'm off to go and soak my hands for a bit because they are super sore, but so worth it. Let's meet back here this time tomorrow.